Welcome to H263 Personal Health, and today we're going to be talking about HPV, which is a sexually transmitted disease. Does anyone know what HPV is?
I don't know. I've never heard of that before.
Well, as I said, it's a sexually transmitted disease, and there are more than 100 types of HPV. Over 30 different types of this disease are found within the genital area. Now, does anyone know how HPV is spread?
I really don't know.
HPV is most commonly spread during sexual activity by skin-to-skin contact with an infected person. And just to go off this, both males and females are at risk to get HPV. Does anyone know what the symptoms are for HPV?
I'm not sure. Maybe, I don't know, like itching, maybe?
Yeah. The main symptom, if you have any physical symptoms, is going to be genital warts. But other than that, most symptoms are, well, you don't really get symptoms. They're asymptomatic. You don't really know that you have it. That's why you have to go through genetic tests in order to figure out if you have it. The immune system normally clears the virus in 1 to 2 years, and if not, you have to get regularly tested by a doctor. There are 2 categories for HPV. There's the low-risk HPV types, which are associated with the genital warts, and they're not really linked to cancer. But there are also high-risk HPV types, and those are linked to cervical cancer as well as cancers in the vulva, penis, and anus.
So what happens if you get HPV? Can you be cured?
No, there's actually no cure for HPV, but a lot of the symptoms can be treated, and genital warts, which is pretty much the only symptom, can be removed through several different ways. So the treatment options you have are topical prescriptions, freezing using nitrogen, liquid nitrogen. You have laser therapy is what they call it. And also you can go into surgery to remove the warts as well. Now, also, prevention is a really big thing for HPV. And what you can do to prevent HPV is get vaccines. Vaccines protect you from specific diseases that can make you very sick, disabled, or even kill you. Most vaccines contain a little bit of a disease germ that is weak or dead, so it doesn't really harm you, but it helps you protect it. So if you get the HPV vaccine, there is almost 100% protection against 4 types of HPV, 2 of which are associated with cervical cancer, and protected against are 6, 11, 16, and 18. They're just numbers for the string. Now, class, I have another question for you. Do males need to worry about HPV if their partner has been immunized against HPV?
I would say yes.
Correct. If your partner has been immunized, it is more likely that they will not have the 4 HPV strains prevented by the vaccine, but this doesn't mean you're fully protected. Your partner can still carry other types of HPV, and that can cause issues for you as well.
Are there any different types of treatment options or even different ways to diagnose HPV?
Currently, there is a new way to diagnose, they're coming up with a new way to diagnose HPV. This new system is called nanotechnology-based multiplex bioassay platform. It is a DNA probe that can detect HPV in your DNA through just like a blood sample or something. The great thing about this is that it's really good for low-income populations or like third world countries and whatnot. It's a low-cost way of screening HPV. It has minimal requirements for instrumentation, and it just gives you rapid test results. You don't need anything. You just need that one sample, and it finds if you're diagnosed with HPV pretty fast. A few other things I found interesting is that out of 256 random women in the university population at the University of Washington, 41% said that they were willing to go get the HPV vaccine or have the intent of doing so. But the thing about this is that sexually active women that do not have secondary health insurance that covers these costs had a much lower intent of getting these things. So one thing that needs to happen is that universities and people that are in the university age need to work on optimizing and getting the education out for HPV, because it does cause cervical cancer in some cases. Another really big thing is that there's a huge disparity in HPV and cervical cancer screening between highly educated white and minority young women. So if there's a really big connection between education and healthcare overall, which we've talked about in this class before. So even if you are a highly educated minority woman, your chances are much lower in getting screened for HPV in relation to a highly educated white woman. And these disparities really need to be thought about, and maybe once again getting the education out there is really important. So that's it.